Dane and Derek is an uncensored, unfiltered podcast. You can find content warnings in the episode description. Thank you for listening. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dane and Derek. We are back this week with a classic Dane and Derek recommend a bunch of artists that you should go check out, or things you should go check out, or things we've enjoyed that you should go check out. Really don't know what it's going to be. We're kind of just doing we're playing all the classics these last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
By this point, we are well into October. So yeah, hopefully I'm doing okay with the movie. And hopefully Dane is doing okay with school.
Yeah, we're getting into halfway through the semester at that point. My goodness.
Yeah, I feel like this episode and the episode that comes right after it will have very different energies based on how we're doing. So, yeah. But Dane, we're back. Do you have artists you want to check out off the top of your head?
I do. I have 3. I have a poet, I have a band, excuse me, and I have a game.
Ooh, okay.
A tabletop OSR game, to be clear, because if you haven't, is this coming out after the games we've been playing recently episode?
No, this is coming out after Shoot the Shit.
Okay, this is okay, cool. Oh wait, so then but it will be after, yes. So
yeah,
you've already heard
probably
have heard my long rant when I was supposed to be talking about video games. I'm an OSR wannabe grognard, so here we are.
Is that our spin-off podcast, the Grogcast, the Grognardcast?
I was thinking if we were going to do that, like a spin-off like OSR podcast, we would call it Pen and Paper or Death.
Yeah, I thought about Thakonauts, like Thako.
Oh, that's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right. Hey, if someone makes a podcast with any of these names, we will come after you. Dave will be a lawyer in 2 years, and then he can give legal advice.
By the time this comes out, it's closer to a year and 3/4.
Hey, so yeah, don't take our idea. We still might make an OSR podcast. We talked about doing it earlier this year. We just don't have time right now, but we probably will at some point because knowing us, we're going to do something wild eventually.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Anyway, continue.
How many do you have stuff? How many do you have?
I'll come up with 3 to match you. I have a photographer, and then I have a photographer. I have I can rec a painter, or digital artist, graphic artist, and then I will come up with a 3rd one. I haven't figured that out yet. As usual, whenever we do these episodes, I'm always like, oh yeah, I can think of 3. And then I never prep for it. And so I always have to ask you to go first so I can find something. And I need to get better about just having these recs prepped, but I can go first with mine real quick.
Okay, give me,
So I got a photographer.
Okay.
On Instagram at Tanaka_Tatsuya, TATSUYA's Tatsuya, and then Tanaka is TANAKA. They're a photographer that does a lot of miniature photography.
Oh, cool.
They'll do things like take I don't know, like they'll take like a bunch of like little like people figures, and then they'll put them on top of like a watermelon, and then carve the watermelons to make like a mountain range, or like I'm looking at a photo of like a Roman baby statue taking a leak, and they've used a tape roller to simulate like the piss. It's like really cool stuff you wouldn't expect, like using an ice cream cone to like act as like the rocket, like cloud stuff that comes out of the back of a rocket. That's so descriptive. It's very, I think, unique. It's a very unique blend of stuff, in my opinion. And so highly recommend their Instagram. It's one of the only reasons why I go on Instagram. Your turn.
So I am going to recommend Michael Faudet, or maybe Faudet. I don't know how they pronounce it. I think he is a poet, and I am currently halfway through his first book of poetry called Dirty Pretty Things, and it's love poems and bits of little flash fiction, um, and prose, and it is it's just some of the best like love poems and love stories I've read in a long time. Like, it is I think one of the hardest things in the world to do is write a love poem, like a good one. And I
Mm.
think he succeeds. As the title might suggest, it is dirty though, fair warning.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my next rec is a illustrator who on Instagram is called Vanilla Arts. It is like the word vanilla plus LA, and then art. And yeah, she's actually a friend of my girlfriend's, and she does like really incredible illustration. She actually just did a commission of my girlfriend and I for like I guess it was an anniversary. It was the anniversary of her and I meeting, which was very cute. And yeah, she did an incredible portrait of the two of us. And by the time this comes out, I don't know if she'll have commissions open, but she posts a lot of great art right on the regular, and her stuff's really good and highly recommend checking out. Yeah, very whimsical, colorful, nice
I love that.
style. Yeah. Number two for you, my dude.
All right, so this is a band, a rock band, rock duo, called Crownlands. So they're like
Ooh.
in the vein of Rush, Led Zeppelin, Queen, Kansas, like just that era of like gigantic epic rock. Um, However, they're from 2015, I believe they formed, and I just kind of want to read their bio that they have on Spotify because they fucking rock, like they rock. And like the first song I ever heard of that from them is about 20 minutes long, and it's just this amazing like science fantasy rock ballad, and it's so fucking cool. Um, so Crownlands are born storytellers, advocates for the LGBTQ plus and indigenous communities, counterculturalists for the 21st century, informed by a cocktail of ancient voices, social injustice, science fiction, and musical narrators from Rush to Paul Simon, Led Zeppelin to John Butler. Um, they have a diverse sonic and lyrical palette. Touchstones range from the mistreatment of Canada's indigenous population to Buddhist meditation master Chogyam Trungpa, who, small world, is the founder of the university I worked at for 4 years.
Huh.
The words of
Europa?
J.R.R. Tolkien and Dune author Frank Herbert, um, and it is just they're just so cool. Like, they
Huh.
sound so grand.
Yeah. That's wild. Hi there. Is that Winter?
That one was Winter and Finch. My roommate
Oh.
just got home. Um,
Hi Winter, hi Finch.
they're just going to be running around for a second here.
That's great. That's fine. We should honestly have more dogs on the podcast.
That'd be pretty great. Um, so yeah, they're hard rock in the best, hard and classic rock in the best sense, but with people who are speaking about now, with all that same wonderful like love for the fantastic and everything. Like, if you see their album covers, they're so reminiscent of like the one that comes to mind is Kansas, like their album, that's the name is escaping me. It's the one with Dust in the Wind, and it's got the ship going over the edge of the world, but it's also sort of like a globe.
Mm.
It's bizarre and fantastical and all of that. Like, it's just that, um, but new, and it's something I've become very, very fond of. So
Huh. Very
yeah.
nice. Very, very nice.
You're up.
Um,
You're on
Man,
deck. Number 3.
man, number 3. Okay. Yeah. Number 3. What's my recommend for number 3?
I
Man,
recommend dogs.
dogs are good. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of the positive things I've done that I could recommend, and one of those was take a vacation. I did that. Just 2 days off, felt great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think, um, man, I think. Okay, let me. All right, you want to know what I did recently?
Mm.
I stopped using Spotify,
Oh.
and you want to know what I've done instead?
What?
I've gone to Bandcamp, and I've started just buying the music I want to listen to. And I just put music on rotation on my phone. So right now I have the entire discography of Go Nakamura, who's like an independent singer-songwriter. He was in a bunch of movies known as the Surrogate Valentine trilogy back in the like early 2010s, and the final part, which came out in like 2020. And he's just like a cool guy that plays guitar and like sings and has a really great voice, and the lyrics of his songs are just like really wholesome. He's like also a video game composer. He did the music for the Bruce Lee documentary Be Water. Um, and yeah, I've just been listening to his records Surrogate Valentine and Daylight Savings and Ulysses on repeat pretty much for the last like 2-3 months now, I think. Um, yeah, I've just like decided that after I've been kind of done through listening to his discography, I'm going to go buy all of Japanese Breakfast's music, and I'm going to listen to all of their music on loop for a couple of months until I'm done. And then I'm going to just do that. Because I kind of got tired of hearing a lot of music that was recommended to me from an algorithm that all kind
Mm-hmm.
of sounded like music I would like,
Mm-hmm.
but that I never really connected with. Versus just like going out and like finding the independent artists that I like and just supporting them directly. So to plus your music rec, go listen to cool bands that do cool things and cool musicians.
Hell yeah.
I highly recommend the sort of analogness of downloading buying your music and downloading it and putting it onto a device and limiting your music options. I've found a lot of joy in that process.
Yeah, I would totally support that. I have so many conflicted feelings about Spotify, and I would love to talk about that sometime. I will say went to a record store yesterday, and that was awesome. I did not and do not have the money to get such a thing right now, but I had to leave before I spent like $90
Yeah.
on vinyl. But like
Yeah,
everyone should
no,
do
yeah.
that. It's super cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, to acknowledge, yes, it is expensive, it is hard, and like when you're in a tough spot financially, yeah, use a streaming service. They're still getting paid, even though it's not a lot, but they're still
yeah.
getting paid. And I
I,
think like, yeah,
I always recommend the best thing you can do, in my opinion, is go to the show, buy some merch.
yeah,
And if
buying
you,
those t-shirts.
yeah, buy those t-shirts, buy t-shirts online, buy the albums when you can. Like totally.
Yeah.
That's the thing I
Hmm.
totally recommend.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference is right now I'm not in a place where I feel comfortable spending $15 a month or whatever it is on Spotify every month, but I do feel comfortable every couple of months buying a new album or two. Um,
Yeah.
and like,
I
yeah,
think it might also depend on the volume of music you listen to.
yes, I don't listen to a lot of music,
Yeah.
so it's a little easier
I
for me.
listen to so much. Like if I were to buy every single like no, there's no way.
Yeah,
Um and maybe that's not for the best, right? Like maybe it would be better if we were more choosy. I don't know.
I
Um
mean, potato potato. Like I listen to I'll basically listen to like one artist at a time, almost
mhm.
exclusively, and that's just how I am. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to listen to music.
See, with some of the way the industry is, though, it's so hard for musicians. But again, another
Yeah,
time. And I love making playlists. It's like my old radio days.
I
But
know. It's so
anyways,
easy on Spotify.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another thing too that we can discuss. YouTube mixes that have been going up, like
Hmm.
DJ YouTube. It's a weird part of YouTube, but
Yeah, I've actually run into a like podcast scene that is little
yeah,
radio. Like, anyways,
yeah,
we'll come back to this. I've got
yes,
one more rec in me.
yes, go for it.
And this is the Arcane Library, which is a tabletop RPG OSR development studio, helmed by Kelsey Dion,
Uh
um,
huh.
and she is the developer of Shadow Dark. Um,
It all
and
ties in.
yes, Shadow Dark is kick ass. It's a D20 based system. It's super familiar to anyone who's played recent editions of D&D. But it's absolutely in the OSR field. The artwork is incredible. It's got that like old school feel. By the by, this is just like a weird shout out, but I have literally never seen more kick ass art of the Tarrasque in my life. Like, I've always thought the Tarrasque looked silly in every edition of D&D I've ever picked up. Like, I was like, this is the like the monster,
The
really,
end of the
really,
world.
yeah. This one, I was like, I think I want to put a Tarrasque in the game. It's fucking
Wow.
rad. Like,
That is a vibe.
like it's super cool. Like, and like the classes are fun, and it's got like all this really cool stuff.
Huh.
So I heartily recommend. For many reasons, game is great. I think lots of people should hear about it, enjoy it. And to be fair, Shadow Dark's been kind of a Cinderella story. Big Kickstarter, all that good stuff. The game's already finished, by the way. Like, you can just go buy it. They don't have print copies yet. But also, you know
Oh.
what? Like, fuck yeah,
Oh, they're
women
still open for
making
late pledges.
yeah, fuck yeah for women who are making tabletop games. Um,
Yeah.
it's not always been a great scene. It still often isn't,
Right.
for women and LGBT plus folks. Um, and so anytime that's happening, I'm always fucking there for it. So, anyways, that is my
Huh.
final rec. Um,
Would you want to make would Shadow Dark be like your game of choice for just in general? Like whether it's playing it at a table or making a show out of it or showing introducing people to OSRs like
I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to
okay.
play it yet. I've just read it like 3 times. Um,
Okay, well that's a big improvement then like I mean I struggle to read some of the other OSRs so
mhm.
like honestly that's pretty cool you've managed to read it 3 times.
It's really exciting to read. The spells feel great too. Like, I
Mm,
find that sometimes in the OSR, the spells feel like less at times, because I think the third edition, fourth edition, fifth edition spells are so much um that a few words doesn't quite grasp it. But the way that the spells are rolled, and there's all these like kind of strange effects that can happen, and also there's like a little bit more than some OSR games. um it just feels nice. It feels like it feels like 5e, like a lot of lessons were learned, and then
mm.
it's just very modern. And but it pleases the grognard that lives in my shoulder, on my shoulder. So I really hope to play it soon, is kind of what I'm saying. And I would also recommend, like, honestly, the Tarrasque art alone worth the price of admission.
Hmm.
Yeah, fucking
Okay.
love it.
Do you have a physical copy or a digital copy?
I only have a digital right now. I'm gonna get a physical copy whenever I can. But
Huh. Okay.
mhm,
All
yeah,
right, all right, all right. Maybe
yeah.
maybe this is the move to look into brave the covered art.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm super pumped about this game. I've already done hacks for it. I've never even played it, and
Mm,
I've started tinkering. So,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to check in on that later. Man, I have not played a tabletop game in a while, so maybe this will be something to look into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very interesting set of Reccs we have today. I feel like normally like they're all like themed. This time it was very much like a nice spread of things.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Hell
good
yeah.
stuff.
I think the overarching theme here is pretty indie, smaller stuff.
Yeah,
The whole thing of it like felt a little punk rock to me.
yes,
Anyways,
yeah. Support the artists. Support. There's no such thing as a small artist, but there are ways to support independent artists who are not beholden to corporate laws and whatnot.
hell yeah.
And you should always go out of your way to support folks if when you're able to. That you gain a lot of value from their work from. I think it's important. It's keeps all of us going. It's what keeps you and me going to a degree by folks listening. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To quote an old Austin Walker from Friends of the Table saying, "Make rent, make art, help other people do the same."
Yeah, and that's a great way to end this week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So next time you hear us in 2 weeks, hopefully, it'll be a more real time episode. So you get to hear how Dane's doing through his halfway through the semester and how I'm doing coming up on the end of principal photography on the dock. So stay frosty, everyone. Enjoy good art, support good art, or just art you like. And make sure to do analog things with your friends, touch roots as we determined a few weeks ago, and yeah, goof around with your friends, have a good time.
Hell yeah. Catch you later.
Catch you later, buddy.
Out here on the sand, not far from land. Sure, I'm warm, but I wish I was cold with you. Out here on the sand, not far from land. Sure, I'm warm, but I wish I was cold.